Hey, everybody, welcome to Bizchicks TV. This is the place to be for tips, tools, strategies, everything you need to help take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. Today is Tuesday. Every Tuesday, the Digital Diva is in the house bringing us all the latest and greatest to help us get our digital and social media marketing straight. So sit back, relax, put your chair in its upright position, get some pen, paper, or however you take notes. Let's get into it with TJ, Terry Johnson Online. Take it away, TJ.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful week of talking about marketing and marketing strategy. And, I was thinking, I was like, why would we want to talk about marketing strategy? And I'm like, this is the best time. It's always been the best time, but this is the best time because we've been talking about the creator economy, which is, as you know, we said last week was going to be like in the trillions. I forgot the number, astronomical, and that all of these avenues are now open to us. But there's a part of that where, yes, you have the creator economy. Yes, you have the platform, and you can choose whatever platform, Teachable, Podia, Mighty, not Mighty Mouse, Mighty something. There's new ones all the time. So it's not a matter of um which one, because they all do certain things. You have to figure out what you want to do. It's about, we now have the tools to build a business online really easily, when it wasn't like that 30 years ago.
Right.
It wasn't even like that 10 years ago. I mean, the tools were there, but people weren't really involved with building and creating online businesses because, whatever factor, time,
I don't think,
inclination.
right.
Mhm.
I don't think businesses were online that much during the
Right.
back in the
But
day.
what I mean is that we knew it's always been there since, maybe since, I'm trying to think of like when Twitter started. It was 2006 or 7. We were talking about it last
Mm-hmm.
time. The
Yes.
tools were always there. It's very easy now. It's, instead of doing the research and trying to figure out which one is the best, there's so many options. It's Baskin Robbins 31 flavors, what I'm trying to say. And now it's easier with one click, one button, Chat GPT, generative AI, one click, and it's easy. But it's still overwhelming because you still have the basic business, marketing, advertising, selling principles. Those don't change. The tools change. See,
True.
the tools change. So that's why we have to talk about marketing strategy, especially because places like Instagram, Facebook, social media platforms are always changing the algorithm, and people get mad. I see it all the time. Every time I go in, they're mad, mad, mad because Instagram doesn't show my post to the people that are following. But you need to step back and say, why are they following you? Why? Did they organically follow you, or were they tricked into following you, or did you buy bots, or fill in the blank? Something you did that wasn't organic. Because if you have organic followers, that means people that saw your content, engaged with it, it connected with them, and not even, you don't even have to give them a freebie. They connected with you, and they tapped the heart, they tapped the thumbs, they tapped the like, they did whatever the option is to say, hey, I want to see more content from this person. Then you have nothing to worry about, because the algorithm of each platform will show that person your content. Trust me, I've seen it. And some places like LinkedIn, they're stepping above and beyond, above board, to show you, if you like one post from somebody on LinkedIn immediately will show you a shelf of, oh, you like that? Well, here's more posts from that person. See? So maybe these people that are complaining about Instagram, and I know why they're complaining, they need to move to LinkedIn, or maybe they go to Pinterest, or maybe, see, there's a mismatch somewhere. And I think I mentioned that last week. Something is missing in your funnel. Oh, I got a funnel. Something's missing because you're doing all the steps, but nobody's buying. Nobody's engaging. What's going on with that?
Well,
So, because I think about this a lot, and because I see people complaining, and I'm like, this is the easiest time ever. You don't have to walk into a newspaper office and fill out a form and give them cash for an ad. That's how it used to be done. You had to literally walk in, fill out a paper form, give them some cash, and then they put your ad in the paper, and then it became okay, you could call in, you could do it online. But now we're not even doing newspaper ads because we have a social media, and it's all because you got to follow the attention. It's all about attention. That's the part of it. People think, well, I put up a I make a profile on social media. I say the right thing. You think. I think I'm saying the right thing. I put the link in my bio and I tell them to go there and click it, and they're just automatically going to buy it. That's not how it works. There's a lot of things in between. It's called a customer journey for a reason, because you're taking them on a trip, a story. You're building up something. There's a lot of pieces in there. So what I'm trying to say is that the economy, the creator economy is here, is at the beginning stages, is growing, but you got to learn the framework. You got to learn the right things to say and do online, or something will fall between the cracks. That's how,
yeah,
right?
yep. You got to tell people, give them directions where you need them to go
Right,
for
right,
them and for you. You know
right.
what I mean? It's for both of you, not just
It's multi-layered, multi-steps, multimodal. It's not cut and dried. It's simple, but it's hard. That's the only way I can put this. It's simple, but it's hard. It's simple because you put something up online, boom, there's an instant audience somewhere. You gotta find them. Needle in a haystack. But it's hard if you try to do it yourself and you don't know what's going on, or you say, well, I'm going to take some money and pay somebody that knows what they're doing, but then you've got to research and vet that person, which is not, it's doable. It's not like you're doing that the whole time. If you get in touch or connect or build a relationship with a person or agency, wherever they are, I'm not going to list the platform, but once you get that and they deliver the goods, then it's a matter of just paying them, right? And just
yep,
keeping an eye on it. It's the same thing when people go, oh, they get a good accountant. They, you still check balances, but you got a good accountant. So when tax times comes or there's an audit or whatever, you have some reassurance. See? So you want to do that. So now I call this today the embrace the mess, because I got this from, I want to give the credit to Mark Schaefer. He has a podcast and I put the link there. Now I listen to his podcast sometimes when I remember, or I will go to his website because he has a blog post called messy marketing or something he called it. But I also found him on LinkedIn, and I follow him on Instagram. So it depends on where I am, and Facebook. So it depends on where I am that I will see his things, and I will see, maybe I see a post that doesn't. I'm like, okay, that's cool. He's been in Romania. He had a speaking gig in Romania, and we were talking. I was, he did some stories, and we were talking through the stories. But usually when I remember, okay, Mark, what is his blog post this week? Because he always has insightful things to say and share. And he's ahead of, kind of ahead of the game. He makes that a point in his business to look ahead. So I saw he had this post about messy marketing. And then this is the Spotify link for his podcast, but you don't have to have Spotify. It's on his, excuse me. Oh, it's on his website. And let me see if I might not have copied that. I didn't copy that. I copied his podcast link. So let me do this real quick,
okay.
because I want to give you, in case people don't have Spotify. I'm like, I'm forgetting. Okay, that's a Spotify link. But he has a website. We talked about blogging. Remember, said blogging not dead. He's been blogging since Web 1.0 or whatever you want to call it. So the
One.
blog post, excuse me, something is in my, something's in my throat. All right, let me go. I don't know. Why is everything going crazy today? I don't know.
Yeah,
All
because
right, let me put in a link to his his blog post. And the title of it is it time for you to try messy marketing? And what he's talking about, and he talks about in the podcast link, is a Burger King commercial. And I want to play it. And I hope, well, Facebook will cut it out, but, who cares? I want to play this, and because we're here for information more than monetization. So people who are concerned about monetization go, oh, this will get me demonetized. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
technically, we'll see.
All right, let's look at that. So let me play it. Can we see that before I play it?
Okay, hang on. Let me turn this off. I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
white.
hit play. It's not playing. That's why I just
Okay.
want to make sure it's on the screen.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So here we go.
Eat like a king who's on a budget. 3 tasty options, fries, drink, and nuggets, all for $5. Wait, that can't be right. Just confirm that that's the real price. BK, have it your way. Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Grill taste with perfect toppers. I rule this day. Lettuce, mayo, pickle, ketchup, it's okay if I don't want that Impossible or bacon Whopper, any Whopper my way. You rule your season today at BK, have it your way. $5 your way, I rule this day. Nuggets, fries, drink bars just been raised.
I'm gonna stop it. Oh, it's still playing. Hold on. So what that is that's a YouTube video of all the Burger King latest ads, and there is a theme there. And there was a search term for this theme. It was called annoying Burger King ads. Now, can we say why this is annoying?
Because they keep talking about it over.
And think about it, it's on TV. So that is the context. It was a TV commercial. He said it was played through one of the sports games or something.
Yeah. It's been on.
It plays through football, basketball, whatever. But people are searching annoying Burger King commercial. And can we guess why? That video was a long video. I just played some of it. It puts all of the commercials together. So can we tell why that's annoying?
Because he can't sing one? I don't.
Off key, yes. Off key, but that's on purpose. Off key, annoying to a certain demographic. To Burger King's demographic, they love that.
Because he's real, just singing his. He's authentic.
And there's a backstory behind it. I think they talked about it in a podcast. I meant to look at the backstory, but there's a backstory behind it. But let me show you one more thing before we start talking about the messy marketing. Let me show you one more. And can we see? Let me make that a little bigger, because where's the beef? Anybody remember this?
Yep.
Where's the beef? The most famous slogan, commercial, and advertising history. This thing took off like a juggernaut. People were they love these ladies, especially the lady that said, "Where's the beef?" They made several of these commercials, and this is Wendy's in 1984. It's not Burger King, but it's Wendy's. And I'm bringing this up. Where's the beef? Because It's kind of same as the Burger King commercial. It jarred people out of it jumped out. It wasn't like the other commercials. It got the attention of the market. People were dressing up like this old lady for Halloween. I remember that. That was what was going on. So both of these things are breaking a pattern. Messy marketing, breaking a pattern. It's not the old uh standard, here's some little old ladies and where shall we go today? Well, let's go to Wendy's, yeah, because they have fresh burger. That didn't work. That wouldn't work because people wouldn't pay attention to that. A bunch of old ladies turn the commercial. I'm not paying attention, whatever. Same thing with the Burger King commercial. Why is that guy singing off key? Because that commercial will hook you in if you're not in front of the TV because you can hear it. It's
Right.
off key
You'd be
on
like, what is
purpose,
that?
right? Right. So
Yep.
these are just two examples. There's many more, and Mark talks about it in his blog post. And hey, Dr. Tachi's here. Hey,
Hey, Dr.
so
T.
you can listen to. I usually listen to his podcast, Marketing Companion. He does it with a guest. His link to his website, businessesgrow.com. And I've talked about Mark Schaefer a lot because one, he's a marketing professor. He's been in the business for a long time. He's worked for big corporations like IBM and Coca-Cola and this and that. So he's a professor at Rutgers. So he pretty much and he's written lots of best-selling books. All his books are good. Everything he writes, I love. I consume. I follow him everywhere. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I've talked to him in the DMs. All of those things. Not to brag. I'm just saying that when I see something of his, I let him generally know how I feel about it. Yes, yeah, she follows him too. I know she does. Mark Schaefer's great. He has a book known that came out before the pandemic that is applying now. He's got one, Marketing Rebellion. He's got a new one, Belonging to the Brand, talking about personal brand. He talks about content. He mentioned years ago, before this content stuff blew up with ChatGPT, he said there was going to be a content overgrowth we would be inundated with content. And he said this like 2015, 2016, and people said, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Here we are almost 10 years later. Yeah, there's lots of content. So I say that because you have to figure out how to stand out. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do the annoying off-key Burger King, but it's catchy, it's memorable, it hooks people in, and it hooks the audience, Burger King's audience. And listen, if you listen to Mark's episode here, he has a great podcast, but in this episode, he mentioned something and he brought up Nike. And he mentioned that one of his friends or somebody he knew, when the Colin Kaepernick story came out, remember Colin Kaepernick and the Nike?
Yeah.
People were burning their Nike stuff. And I was like, you people are nuts. If you want to get back at Nike, take it back and get your money back. Because Nike got your money. They don't care what you do after you store.
They don't care what you did with the shoe after you paid for
They
it.
don't care what you do with it. Making a plan or throw it out the window. They don't care. They got your money. So if you ever want to get back at a brand, you take whatever it is you bought back. Even if it's like years later, take it back and get your money. That's how you get them. But they don't care. So he brought up the story, like one of his friends was saying about, oh, Nike, I'm not ever buying their stuff again. I threw it away. I burned it, blah, blah, blah. And Mark told him, the guy, Nike doesn't care. What do you mean Nike doesn't care? So Nike doesn't care because you aren't the target market. You're an older over 50 person. If you buy it, that's great. If you buy the Air Jordans, that's great. If you buy, Nike's a business. They're not going to turn down cash. They're not going to turn down a sale, but they don't market to you. And he was trying to tell the guy that Nike was 18 to 34. And we all know that's the advertising range, the golden range, they call it. and particularly males. I mean, it's females also, but particularly male.
Mm-hmm.
So Nike is like, okay, if the 65-year-old man is mad with us about Colin Kaepernick and what he stands for and this and that, we don't care because our target market cares about the Colin Kaepernick story and what's going on.
Right.
So they took a stand. And again, Nike's going to take a stand that they believe in. They're not just going to take some companies will take a stand because they want to sell stuff. They don't really believe in it. That's for another day. But they decided to do that, and in the episode, Mark tells the guy, Nike doesn't care about you. They don't care about you. So you have to think about each brand and their market share and who they really want to target, because let's say it, everybody's not your customer. Nike knows it. All the great brands and companies and corporations knows that they have one market in mind, and if you don't fit in that range, they care if you buy, but they're not marketing to you. They're not attracting you. And so we see that with the Whopper commercial. I just want to do a couple of things about this Burger King. And well, let me get back before I talk about the Burger King. Embracing the mess in marketing is about being flexible, humanizing your brand, engaging with the audience in a way that feels personal and genuine. It's a shift from traditional marketing that often relies on highly controlled messaging and channels. They want to move towards a more organic and responsive way of communication that can lead to stronger customer relationships and brand loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you want to sell, but if you concentrate on a sale, that's a one and done. I've said that before. You want the customer relationship journey to where they continually come and buy, they continually talk about you word of mouth, and they bring you more customers and they are happy. That's the golden ticket. Okay? Brand loyalty. You don't have to sell. Does Apple they do put out commercials, but I haven't seen any lately, but they don't put all of their eggs into let's run an ad on TV. Apple's like, we're Apple.
No.
We stand on our brand. We stand on what we've done for our customers. Our customers carry the message out into the world. Right?
Right. That's true. And that is very true. And when you have the customer promoting the product is probably the best thing because you're not spending any money on ads.
Yeah, they carry in the water for you.
Right. Tesla does not run ads for their cars.
Everybody's heard of Tesla. Most people have heard of it.
Yes.
If they don't know what it looks like, I've heard Tesla, and when you think Tesla, you think, you've heard something there. That's brand recognition.
Yes.
Another part of it.
Yeah. I was like, wow, not one commercial.
But let's get back. Go ahead.
I remember the early days of Starbucks. They never ran commercials.
You know what a Starbucks ad is? People walking around with a Starbucks cup. They realize that.
Right.
There's I don't know. Are there commercials? I don't watch a lot of
It's not
TV.
commercials for their other stuff, like their frappuccinos and stuff that they sell in the store, but there's not a commercial where somebody's sipping a hot coffee and
right.
Go to Starbucks. It's not that type of commercial.
Right. They could do that, but that's a waste of marketing, advertising dollars, because like I said, their advertising is people walking around with that cup, that logo, the green mermaid.
Because there was a sense of you're in the it crowd if you have a Starbucks.
Cachet.
Was that a cachet? Yes.
Cachet, culture, popularity, what the cool kids are doing. Starbucks.
Right.
So they don't have to run ads. They could, but that's a waste of marketing and advertising dollars, which could go to I was reading a little bit about Starbucks, and they have a new CEO that came in, and he was going around to all the locations, being a barista, trying to learn, get into the grit of it and seeing what the employees need, so they can take that money and put it into making the employees happy, which
Mhm.
is what another thing that furthers their brand,
Right.
because you want a happy barista, you want a happy person behind the counter. Here's a quick story. I like to go around our neighborhood and support the local businesses. So we were walking around. I went and got some bagels, and I was like, "Oh, let's get some coffee." I think it was Sunday. I forgot. I think it was Sunday, maybe Sunday. So there's a little shop, a little coffee shop, and it's next to it's close to two big schools over here. So I remembered this coffee shop. I wanted to go. I just never. I was like, okay, we're walking by. Let me go in there because it's the weekend. They're not getting much business. Nobody was in there. They're not getting much business because the schools aren't open on the weekend. So, but when the schools are open, the teachers are running over there, probably kids if they got hot chocolate and they've got little, cakes and things. So I go in there and I'm like, I walk in, I'm a new customer. I walk in, I look around, and the guy doesn't say anything. And I walk up to the counter and I go, well, hi. Nothing. I said, okay. Then I look at the menu. I said, well, give me, whatever. Then I asked my daughter, like, what does she want? She wanted something. So we ordered it. And then he had the little thing where you tap, you tap the card and all the things that I like, convenience. But he never said, hey, welcome to the drip. What can I do for you? How are you today? None of that. So the coffee was great. Great enough for me to come back and overlook that. But I like to come in because you never know when somebody's in a new spot. And I'm like, I'm trying to support you guys because I want you to stay in the neighborhood.
Right.
Because of the
Now,
rents in New York, blah, 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 all of those reasons. But to walk in and I'm like, okay, you're in the shop. There's nobody in here. It's a little shop. You're not getting foot traffic. But still, when I walk in, hey, how are you guys?
you're the only one in the store buying something, and he's not
Empty.
talking.
They got things in there to sell, like probably a local jewelry artist had jewelry, and my daughter saw they had some custom made keychains and whatever. I was like, oh, we can come back and get that. But they had things in there too. They had a rack with like t-shirts or sweatshirts. I didn't look. And like I said, they had cakes and cookies. I was just like, the first thing I'm thinking is like, hi. And not even a Disney, oh, welcome to, none of that. Just a acknowledgement of, hey, human.
Right.
So we're walking in and he's like,
Okay, it's like I really don't work here. Somebody else.
but see, that's a part of New York also. So I just got over it. I'm just saying that as a business where you're in a neighborhood where your stuff is more expensive and people aren't going to come to you.
So
if it's
there was every time I go into a Starbucks, a Phil's coffee is popular here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Phil's don't run commercials either.
Right.
Phil started, I think, in Santa Monica. And so, and people who don't like Starbucks like Phil's.
Yeah, right. Because there's people that don't like Starbucks. Right.
Right. So, but every store that I've gone into, even though they're working on something, they don't even look up sometimes, but they do say, hey, welcome in. When they hear the door open, they don't.
Yes, the little bell. Yes, the little bell ding. That means somebody can open the door.
Right. And they say, hi, we'll be right with you. But even though they may not look up, but at least they have addressed the fact that you've come into the store.
Yeah, a simple hi would have been nice. But that's new. But I'm not excusing. I'm just saying that, okay, that's par for the course. But most of the time, businesses will be like, hi, and they're not Disney, hi, bubbly. I don't want that. I just want an acknowledgement that I walked into the door because, he's there, like nobody's here. It's a Sunday morning, blah, blah, blah. So he's just standing there looking. And I'm like, okay, that could go a long way. Now, because the coffee was good, I probably will go back. But if it was bad, that would have been it for me. Like, we're done.
Maybe they put him on a weekend gig, because the Monday through Friday gig, they needed somebody else. Okay, you do the weekends or something. I see
it's because, it's the weekend. Nobody, like the neighborhood, like they're not going in there for that $3 coffee when they can go to the bodega for the dollar. So that's the kind of neighborhood it is. And I'm like, I like that you're here with this, and you got this, you got that. So I want you to stay around because I know if you don't get sales, you're not gonna be able to afford the rent here because rent is, and especially for commercial leases. But I mean, my point was like, just okay, just hi.
Just say something.
Hi,
Act like
what's your
I'm
order?
here.
Hi. I was like, hi. And I said, well, I guess I'll order. And I looked up, it's like, just give me whatever.
And you
So,
know, and the thing is, sometimes it's intimidating when you first come in and you don't understand the culture of the store, especially coffee shop. Phil's is totally different than Starbucks. So when you go into order, you have to kind of get the lay of the land. If you've never
right.
been in Starbucks, you need a whole
Right. But usually
encyclopedia
with
training.
Starbucks, there's somebody will say, hi, welcome to Starbucks. I mean, a corporation on that level, they have an employee that when the customer comes in, you say blank. There's
Right.
no, you don't leave it up to the employee to think about what to say. It's the same thing with McDonald's. Hi, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? Or Wendy's, may I take that corporation sets that up. And the employee just knows it. They just rattle it off. They could be
Well,
happy or sad. That's not the point. I mean, they said something
yes,
instead of just.
the teachable moment is that the small companies need to act like a big company in
You
that
gotta go off
sense.
further, a step further. Why am I here? I could get the bodega coffee.
Right.
I can make it at home. So I did, but that getting into coffee and then the Starbucks and then Dr. Saji got some things about Starbucks, which is true.
Right. She says Starbucks is all about image, and the
Yep, that's the
Starbucks stuff
branding.
is seen as a status symbol.
That's right. That's a part of the brand. You always see the celebrities with the Starbucks. They do the coffee run. Paparazzi's taking pictures, especially in California. They got that cup. Starbucks is like, yeah, yeah. And sometimes, and like she said, it's about status symbols, not about taste. Because some people prefer coffee that's not Starbucks. They prefer a local barista, or they want their home, or the super. It's a matter of taste. Because coffee is a commodity, and we talked about that.
Right. And say,
Yeah,
don't go
welcome
to
to
the good
Good
burger,
Burger.
home of the good burger. Man, take
Exactly. I take your order. But see, coffee's a commodity. So we talked about that also about marketing and doing commodities. When it's a commodity, what sells it?
the people behind the counter.
Yeah, the customer service. They're getting, that brings us to the Keith Lee and the Atlanta restaurants, and some of the restaurants in Atlanta saying you don't go to a restaurant for service, you go for the food. No, you go for both,
Right.
actually. So
Because I don't care how good the food is, if the service is crappy, you're gonna be like, you know what?
yeah, all those rules you got, I was like, y'all wouldn't last here. There would be some rioting, and people would be throwing chairs and smashing windows if you tried that. Because in Atlanta, they're trying to be a club culture, like the velvet rope, like who gets in because of what you're wearing, how you look, and all this. And I'm like, I'm not about that. Just here in New York, you can go to a 5-star restaurant dressed in a hoodie and some sneakers. There's no dress code like that. I mean, there's some nice places where you dress up because you want to fit in with the culture, but they're not going to tell you, look down at you because you're
Right.
not wearing a designer dress or shirt or whatever. It's like, okay, can you get in?
Dr. Dodgy said throwing chairs and smashing windows sounds like Waffle
Yeah,
House.
that's Waffle House. That's Waffle House. But see, we're getting into the point of where you have to stand out. It's even harder now because, like we said about the creator economy, everybody's online. Every business can get online. Everybody can advertise. Everybody can market. Everybody. So you have to do things that say, "Hey, we got to stand out to our target market." So that's what Burger King was doing, and that's what we should do. Now, I'm not saying do the off-key singing, but you need to think about when I'm making a post or I'm making an ad or writing something, how can I judge? And that's I get that from watching what's the fashion guys? Queer Eye for Disgrace. What one of those shows, and the guy that's on it used to be judge. So
Yeah.
it's like, how can you put some flavor on it to where you stand out and you go, wow. You want a wow factor. So this, he was saying embrace the mess was like, okay, this is what Burger King is doing. They know their audience, they know what they want, they know how to attract them. This offbeat, off key, weird, out of the box. And Burger King has done some other things. I think we talked about they did a ad with a moldy black burger or something, and it looked
Uh,
horrible. Remember,
yeah, I
that was a
think
few
that
years
was
ago.
a few years ago. Yeah.
Mhm. But
That,
that's their thing. That's what they do, and it gets attention.
so,
Okay. Go ahead.
so when I was thinking about bringing, if I'm doing content, my content needs to reflect me. I can't
Yes.
be like everybody else, or else I'm going to be swallowed up in that sameness.
Right.
Um,
That you don't stand out. You don't rise above the noise.
and or you just lost somewhere
Mhm.
in the sea of everybody looking the same.
Yeah,
And
everybody's online.
and I on Instagram, you see the ladies, some of the ladies, they all look alike.
All look alike. They all point and dance in the reels, and they do the same thing because
And,
they follow someone who is selling a course that tells them to do that
but they don't.
for success.
Their voice is no different than
Right. See, they're
everybody else.
forgetting you. If you're the same as everybody else, I'm not going to see you. You're the same as everything else. I flick. The ones that make it embrace the mess, authentic, raw, real. A lot of the mommy bloggers are doing video and stuff without makeup and just talking, and which I appreciate. Just like you said, be yourself. You
Right.
got the phone, turn it on, and they go, oh, I'm not doing so well today because XYZ. As a mommy blogger, when you say that on TikTok, wherever you decide to go, wherever your audience is, they're going to connect with that because they're going through the same thing, or they've gone through the same thing.
Right.
If I'm not a mom of toddlers, I'm not going to watch that unless you're, I was like, oh, well, you're compelling or something. But then I'm not going to follow you because I'm like, I'm not into that market of you got two, small children and what do I do here and that. So, but they're doing a lot of that instead of setting up a set in the ring light and batch content and pointing and dancing because the person, the business coach that told them to do it. And they're going, and I see a lot of them going, well, it doesn't work anymore, especially with reels, because the reels reach is down for a lot of people. And this is driving them nuts. What do I do? My reel is not getting the thousands. It's because Instagram is lowering the notch on that. It was a new thing. They ramped it up because they wanted you to use it. Now they're like, okay, you're using it. Now we're gonna notch down the engagement. Because there's only so much content they can show.
Okay, so how's this? How many people actually tune into reels? I'm talking about watching us today. Do you tune into the reels? Just
right. But see, the thing about reels is that Instagram does a lot of things to show you a reel and a post, and they have a mix, and people drive themselves crazy trying to figure it out. And I'm saying, just do what you're going to do. A reel can be 7 seconds. There's a thing now where, the reel has to be 7 seconds, no more than 7 seconds, or it's not going to be successful. I'm like, you're crazy. The reel can go up to 10 minutes. It's what you have to say.
Now, I will follow reels of people. I will look at the reels of people that I'm following, right? There might be something that pops up, like there might be one that somebody was creating food or something. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting recipe. Let me look at it.
Right.
But on a normal, I'm not sitting there.
Yes, that's what I mean. You're not going to look at that type of content. So this is what Instagram does. It will show you something. Well, let me throw this in the mix. And if you like it, you watch it and tab it. If you don't, you can say you don't like it or you swipe away. Those are all little. Instagram has a thing of signals that tells them this works, that doesn't work, because Instagram's job is to make you stay on the app and serve you content that makes you happy. If you're not doing that, then you're not going to be seen. But for some reason they think, and we talked about this a lot, about the dancing monkey and the pointing and nobody wants that because everybody's doing it. So you just swipe, 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 and then Instagram gets the message that you don't like that. But they've got something where, oh, it's 7 seconds. Oh, these rigid rules for any platform doesn't work. And I say, you know what works, you go look at your analytics, your personal analytics, especially in Instagram. You have a professional dashboard. You have an area that shows you what was the most popular post, where did they come from, what were their hashtags. And this is also in Meta Business Suite for Facebook and Instagram. Is there also. That's how you know what works, not what some person who's selling a course and they've been they're successful at selling a course. They don't have to point and dance anymore because they got you. They got you to buy it. You continue to point and dance and doing all the things that they tell you. And, oh, it must be 7 seconds. You must use a trending reel, a trending sound. You must do this. You must. Those musts, they have to go out the window because you have to do different content to test your audience to see what they're like. And then you repeat and do more of that. See? People aren't getting that. So there's a lot of hand wringing and despair about reels.
Hand
The reach
wringing
going
and
down.
despair. Oh my God, it's not working.
Maybe you need to do more things. Maybe you need to spend time talking to your audience and trying different things. Dress up, dress down, stay indoors, go outside, pull out a ring light. Don't pull out a ring light. Make it messy. Don't make it messy. How are you going to know unless you taste it?
And I think the content or what you're saying is probably going to be more important than the delivery method.
Right.
If you don't have a good point to make, why do we need to watch you?
Yes. Because everybody else is saying what you're saying. I had a client once that they were in the medical field and they were like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm going to buy a service that provides the content. Okay, good luck. It's the content that everybody in your profession buys. So it's all the same. How in the world will you stand out? You won't, because every other person in your industry, in your service is buying the same content. They're not making hundreds of different posts. They're making 4 or 5 and saying, here, pick one. And you're like, okay. And you think you've done your duty because you posted something. It's not about posting. It's about, does the message connect with the right audience and are you on the right platform? But that takes time to figure out, and people don't want to take the time. So
in my industry, we have mortgage professionals who send me emails, right? And they'll have a message about something is happening in the industry or blah, blah, blah. I'll get that same message from like 2 or 3 different mortgage people because they bought the package.
Bought a package. So why can't they just write that real quick themselves, because they have the knowledge and they know what you want to hear? I know what an industry professional wants to hear. So I will take 5 minutes to write it. Not even 5 minutes, ChatGPT.
And if you
and
just
clean it up, 2 minutes.
Yes, you put the points in there, ChatGPT will clean it up.
Less than 2 minutes.
And you have your own unique voice, not sounding cookie cutter.
Yes, you're not cookie cutter. So this is where we're bringing it back to embrace the mess. Burger King, they're not cookie cutter. I just want to mention a couple things about Burger King. They believe in product innovation and differentiation. They introduced a strategy that they want buzz around their products. They use bold and provocative advertising. They want to capture attention and differentiate the brand from its competitors. So they're not afraid to take risks and push their boundaries. They use humor, satire, and sometimes controversy to create buzz and engage consumers. They engage with pop culture. They have their they know the current trends, the memes and references to capture the attention of consumers and stay relevant in a cultural landscape. Now that's very hard. Now Burger King is a corporation, so they got people to pay to do that, to just sit online and see what the memes are, what the funny thing, because that stuff is cyclical and changes.
Right.
So they've got the manpower, they've got the employees to do that. Now it's a small business, kind of hard because you have to be online. Like we were talking about the Keith Lee Atlanta thing, and I just happened to see that because I was on somewhere. I don't know where I was, and I saw the little post. I was like, well, who is Keith Lee? And then I fell into the whole of trying to,
whoa,
right, what is this? And it just, and then it blew up while I was looking at it. So it's just one of those things you don't have time for as a business owner.
But Keith Lee, he's been doing him for all this time. He was,
yes, but see, I didn't know who he was. So then I think Chad Ocho
Cinco,
whatever he called himself.
Chad
He was on a podcast with Shannon Sharp, and they were talking about it. And Chad goes, well, who is Keith Lee? Who is he? I don't know what he is. And I was laughing because Keith Lee took that snippet and told who he was on his TikTok. Like, he's an MMA fighter. He's traveled the world. Because Chad was like, well, who is he? Is he a professional chef? Is he a reviewer? What does he know about food? So he said, I'll tell you. I'm an MMA fighter. I've been around the world. I've been to different places around the world eating, and that's his passion. And he says, I'm just a regular person giving my opinion. You don't have to follow me. He's not begging people to follow him. He's just reviewing food. So I was like, I learned a little bit more about, well, who is he? Mm-hmm. So, and also there was that attitude of you have to be a professional. Like, I have to be a professional movie reviewer to review a movie. No, you just have to have an opinion. You have to watch it and give your opinion. Same thing with food. Eat it and give your opinion.
Isn't that what the Michelin star people did before? Okay, Michelin tires now.
Yes,
gives out the star to different restaurants.
Because they wanted people to travel with the car, and then if you travel, you're gonna need tires. See?
And now, so all restaurants are looking. Oh, I need to get the Michelin star.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Burger King has an innovative approach. They want to reach a younger demographic, and they want to establish a presence in a digital space where the audience spends a significant amount of time that's online. They also cultivate an engaging brand personality, and it resonates with the target audience. They want to be a rebel or challenger brand, and they want to have this sense of playfulness, weirdness, oddity, because in their advertising campaigns, because it stands out. So they're saying they want to appeal to consumers who are looking for a more edgy or unconventional fast food experience. So they make that a part of their brand identity. So they do that. They actively do that. They want bold, provocative messaging, humor and wit and funniness and standing out and weirdness. So that's why when Mark was like, he in his blog post, he said that people were searching for annoying Burger King commercial. They were actually searching for that in Google. So, I mean, just look at it. The relevance of standing out, doing what your brand personality, your brand strategy is, knowing who you are, like we were saying about Nike, Starbucks. And when you do all of that, and then remember, this is fast food. So we got Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, whoever. So you got to do things that stand out, because what do you want with fast food? You want what you want. You want convenience. You want it fast. You want to get out and go, and you don't want to pay a lot of money.
Correct.
So if all of them are doing that, and McDonald's is doing McDonald's value meal, how do you stand out with your advertising? This is where Burger King went. And also Wendy's with the Where's the Beef, which was in its day, the Where's the Beef was the standout, breakout, wow commercial of the day.
Right. No, you said something key. You need to know what's your identity. Because if you don't know your identity, you're going to be limited in what you can do, because you'll be stuck like being like everybody. if you don't know what makes you different. What is your who
What
are
is your
you?
identity? And this is another thing that's hard for business owners to figure out. Who am I really? I mean, you know what your business is about, but what is your brand identity online? That's a good question. How do you determine it? Is just going online and making posts and doing what you're doing, and then you figure it out as serious, funny, uh weird, out of the box, unusual, whatever it is. It reveals itself the more you spend time online as a business owner. And spending more time means talking to your audience, making posts, conversations. We talked about threads, going on threads and just throwing things out and saying things instead of trying to be afraid. And then remember, with Instagram, we got this whole uh culture of cultivating an image, like you putting on a front and a presenting a front when you're not really that, and it's contributing to a lot of mental health issues, for especially for the younger crowd.
Right.
So you have to think, if everybody's the same, how do you stand out? By being yourself. Well, who's going to want to see me as myself? You don't know.
Right. And see, but we need you to be yourself because your skill set is necessary to help us. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
not going to get help if everybody is a Stepford wife.
Yeah.
We're not going
You
to get some help we don't want lemon meringue all the time. We need somebody to make something else.
Right. And this applies in your industry, real estate. Why do people buy from a particular person?
Because
Personality, how they present themselves,
correct.
different things.
Right. They don't buy from the company, the big box
Right.
name.
The company name.
They
Yeah.
they go with Sally because Sally has helped them and she has a different way. Maybe Sally likes horses or whatever. And so
You have to connect with that person or couple that's buying the house. There's a humanness, a level there that you can't rely on a bot or a chat bot. You've got to be real and relatable, because
right. And
people are
see,
buying from people.
not everybody now, if you come in stilettos, okay, you're trying to buy a farm, and then the real estate agent comes in with
The
stilettos,
stiletto and
and
the Real Housewife look. Yeah.
okay, that is, I'm sorry, you don't have a clue as to what's going on. You can't
Right.
help. You need some boots. They could be from Coach, but you need some
Yeah.
boots, and you need
But see,
to
those are the good ones will know, relatable. What kind of property am I showing? Is it in Beverly Hills? And there, you got to dress up like that. But if you're selling a ranch, that's not going to work, because the person buying a ranch is like, what is this?
you, you surely don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing, right?
Yeah. So it's all of those things, looks and everything, and knowledge is very important. So
Right.
I just wanted to talk about this, embracing the mess, because it's starting to take on a lot. And like I said, with the mommy bloggers, a lot of them are coming on. Before, they used to, okay, I gotta put on a full this and I gotta do my hair. Now they're like, okay, my toddler is running me raggedy and their hair is sticking everywhere and they got jam or something on their face from the kid, and they're like, and you come on and you say, I need to talk about this. You're going to be relatable to the other moms of the toddlers who are going through the same thing, because remember, they're in their home or wherever, isolated. If they're
Right.
not with the other mommies, or there's no other mom in the neighborhood or whatever, they're going to relate to you. And
Right.
why? Because you can take that and turn it into sponsorship, brand deals, affiliate, whatever you're trying to make money with.
Right. This is what I found that works for the messy hair day for the kids. This works
Hmm.
without, and
Yes. Yes. That's how it works. So it's not. Yeah, you can do the, okay, I'm doing a set and a ring light and the lights, camera, action, and the whole dress thing. You could do that, but then you also want to show you want to be relatable,
right.
but you also want to break the pattern. So really, and Mark said this in the podcast, he's saying this is he kept saying breaking the pattern, break the pattern. I was like, yes, break the pattern. So you see that with the reels, and I see everybody complaining, well, the reels aren't working anymore because they're doing this. or 7 seconds or whatever the course told them to do is not working. But sometimes you got to say, hey, let me go out on a limb. Let me take a risk and say, I got an idea. Let me try it. If it doesn't work, guess what? You can delete the post. I don't see why people think it's permanent, etched in stone, concrete forever. On Instagram, you can archive or delete. Everywhere you can archive and delete. You can put it up and delete it later or a week later or a month. See how that works? It's like people are afraid to step out and try something offbeat, whatever. Just an idea. If it
Mhm.
works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you tried it.
Yes,
So
you
that's the
did.
key. So to embrace the mess is about, okay, how can I put some messiness into what I'm posting? How can I put a little, okay, there's a little dirt, there's a little, this is not perfect. How can I do a non-perfect post? How can I show the grit? Maybe some people want to see the grit, and this gets back into real estate. Maybe you want to show them the under. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying underside of the house, or the plumbing, or this is the electrical. Something that's not the curated,
Oh, you mean with a
heavily
house that has got curb appeal
house
and all of that?
beautiful. I'm thinking, who's the couple that they go around rehabbing and is a couple and they bought
This is
the network.
Chip and Joanna.
Yes, them. I'm pretty sure on all their stuff that when they do the rehabs and they do whatever, I saw a commercial. Why I brought it up because I saw a commercial with her and her husband. They're doing a hotel, something they're doing, and I was like, look at this. She's in a t-shirt. They're in an empty, raggedy looking spot. But see, that's the before, and they're gonna show the after, and you're gonna be like, ooh, if they could do that, what can they do to my house or whatever they're selling? Is what I'm saying. So if they're
Right.
showing the mess, then they're gonna show the beautiful.
Yep.
I thought that was just like excellent marketing, but that's how it is within their industry, right?
Yep. And
So think about how to do it in yours.
it's okay to be messy.
Here's another thing just popped in my head. Blooper reels. Behind the scenes. I messed up. Blah blah blah. You see that a lot? It works because it gets the attention. It's out of the norm, break the pattern. It's not your usual. And it stands out, which is what you want to do,
Yep.
especially online. Okay. So
This
that's it. That's what I have for you today.
this has been real good, TJ. Hopefully you all took some really good notes. You can always go back to YouTube and pull it up again on TJ's YouTube, our YouTube, on
Yeah.
yeah, it's here. So you can find TJ, terryjohnsononline.com/info. Go follow her, get some more insights. She's always bringing us information that we can use right now to tweak our business because you every time something switches in the industry where social media is concerned, you have first crack at, oh, here's the change, and you won't get stuck.
It's always changing. Everything is changing all the time, and you may not have the time or the inclination to keep up with it. Well, I do because I like that. I like to keep it. Well, what's going on? So I follow all the right people like Mark Schaefer that will tell me, and he will talk about, well, this is what's happening, this is what's coming. Because when you're doing your marketing, you want to stand out. You don't want to be like everybody else. And a lot of people are afraid to stand on their own and say, well, I don't want to stand out. But
Well,
then how do you get the clients?
you need to stand out. We don't
Yeah.
need to keep working with everybody else. We need you.
Yeah. Shake it up, break the pattern.
Oh, I like that. Shake it up, break the pattern.
Shake it up, break the pattern.
Also, if you'd like to become a part of the Bizchicks community, you can do that. You can join Bizchicks by texting biz to 33777, or you can just go to bizchicks.net. TJ will be back with us on Friday for Tech Life Weekly because we're going to talk about all the new things that are happening in tech. I've been getting pings and dings.
There's some, I'm gonna tell you right now, get ready. OpenAI did something yesterday, and it's people are just, so the Chat GPT world is, I was like, wow.
flipping over, y'all. So get up in
I'll
here.
just say real quickly, it will make some people upset because the turnover is so fast that you can't keep up. But I say don't, if you can't, don't worry about it, because it will come to you in a form and a fashion that will be easy in whatever you're using already. So, but there's some things going on with ChatGPT, and I'm like, they don't put that horse back in the barn when they were signing this. Remember, was it 6 months ago? Oh, let's pause. I was like,
that you're gonna talk about
So we'll talk
pausing.
about
They just
that
got
on
to
Friday.
I mean, they don't let the horses out. So, Dr. Tachi, thank you for tuning in with us today. And we will definitely be back. Tomorrow is Coach Karen, then Thursday is Robin Shimizu. And it's going to be really good information as always. So
let me say one thing before we end. Reach out to me on Terry Johnson Online everywhere and let me know if you have something we want to cover, because I usually go by what I think we should know, but if you've got something you want to know about, just let me know. Whatever your favorite platform, Terry Johnson Online.
Right. So
and
let's do that, because we're here to help you.
Yeah.
So tell us what you need help with, and we will see you real soon. Thank you for tuning in, and catch you next time, especially next Tuesday. You need to put Tuesdays on the calendar.
Yeah, put it on your calendar, put a notification, whatever. Don't miss it.
Don't miss. All right. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.